Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Floyd, and as promised, today we are talking about the movie Ma. Now, if you're not familiar with Ma, then it is a suspense thriller starring Octavia Spencer and directed by Tate Taylor. Tate Taylor's done several movies from The Girl on the Train to Get On Up starring Chadwick Boseman, so you've probably seen some things that he's directed. And Octavia Spencer is just one of those faces where when you see her, you know her, but you can never really pick her name out of a hat. She's also been in Hidden Figures, Get On Up, just several different movies and projects that she's been in, and she's a great actress. And this movie is actually a little bit of a change of pace for her, in my opinion. I've never seen her in anything like this, but again, if you're not familiar with Ma, the movie itself is about Octavia Spencer's character, Sue Ellen, who is an older woman, apparently lives by herself, was married, now divorced. Doesn't really say what happened to the husband, but she lives in her hometown, and you can tell from the previews that something's just not right about her. As the movie goes on, she actually starts letting some teenagers hang out in her basement and drink. And again, if you haven't seen it, I will stop right there if you want to click off, because there will be spoilers throughout this video. But as far as she is concerned, she lets these teenagers come over and kick it at her house. She helps buy them alcohol. Eventually, she just starts paying for the alcohol. But the first time they're there at her house, it's extremely weird. She pulls a gun out on one of them. I mean, there is a black kid there when this happens, and he does nothing that would serve the stereotype correctly. He just sits there like, oh, what am I supposed to do? He didn't try to run, he didn't try to fight back. This lady has a full-blown revolver pointed at the guy. And as the movie goes on, she just does weirder and weirder stuff that just doesn't make a lot of sense. Now, as far as some of the good things I feel like the movie does, I really think they do a great job with using the cringe-worthy actions of Ma to tell the story, where it's like, all right, it's cool that you follow me on Instagram, but I'm a teenager and now you're messaging me and FaceTiming me multiple times throughout the day without even getting a response. And typical social courtesy says that if I don't message you back, then maybe one more message is okay, but 4 or 5 is just weird, man. And she does that to all the kids. But eventually the kids band together and decide to stop hanging out with her. Some of their parents start finding out, and they also start to release a little bit of her past and why she is the way she is. And like I said, this movie is one of those that gave way too much away in the previews as far as I'm concerned, so you end up kind of already knowing that Ma is connected through these kids' parents, and that's why she's actually after the kids the way she is. She's trying to recreate some group that she felt like she should have been a part of when she was in high school. So as far as just a few other good things, the cast itself comprised of a lot of young actors that I don't know if I've seen in anything else, but they did a great job playing off of each other, a great job just kind of building the idea that they were a crew that hangs out real close together. I did have some issues with them inviting this new student in so quick to their group, like, hey, you come be our friend. The popular kids, my day, usually didn't do that. If you're a new kid, then you just kind of stay off to the side until you figure it out. Nobody's coming to get you and saying, hey man, come hang out in our group. You can be our friend. Unless it's the kids considered to be weird, then they would come get you. But these were the popular kids. They came straight to her, hey, come be a part of our group and come to this party. So you would almost think that they were about to play some kind of prank on her, but they eventually just become really good friends, and she starts dating one of the guys. So as far as some of the bad things, I guess one of the main bad things I had an issue with is the main student, who's the new girl at the school, and her parent went to school with Ma, just like all the other kids' parents went to school with Ma. She eventually goes upstairs after being told by Ma, do not leave the basement, don't come upstairs, that's my personal space, just don't come up there. She goes up there anyway to use the restroom, and while her and her friend are using the restroom, she hears Ma upstairs talking to someone, even though they're supposed to be under the impression that no one lives here but Ma. And she's not just talking to someone, she's basically berating them and telling them they've done something wrong. So she hears this information, does get her friends to leave, which is smart, didn't expect that, but never tells them what she heard or what's going on so that they would be suspicious. She just expects them to trust her and be like, well, let's not go there anymore. Let's not hang out at this place where this lady lets us drink and smoke all we want and doesn't snitch on us to our parents. But again, like I said, Ma gets really weird and she starts acting way closer to these kids than she should be. And it's not even, well, sexual somewhat, but it's not overt sexuality, so I'm not even concerned with that part. It's just the fact that she infiltrated your crew so easily and you're not going to do nothing about that. So the movie winds up with a couple of the parents finding out, one being this lady Mercedes, who's a little sketchy herself and had a lot to do with Ma's demise when she was in high school. But another guy who's Andy's dad. Andy's one of the main students, but his dad finds out and he owns a security company. So Ma tricks him by using one of the trackers he has on his son's van to make him think that his son is at Ma's house again. He comes over and Ma basically kidnaps the guy. I mean, she ties him to a bed after tranquilizing him, and then she slits his wrist, but she has like dog's blood pumping into his other arm. So she called him a dog and she killed him basically and then left him up there. And then a whole big thing ensues where the main student girl comes to try and save her friends, but they're all faded off of whatever Ma put in the punch. She spiked the hell out of it because all of them were like kissing each other and doing just weird stuff they hadn't done all movie. And then Ma comes in and makes her take pictures of all the students sitting on a couch with her. And it was just the main group, like the 5 students that started out. So it was just really weird how some of it panned out in the end. Like, all right, Ma, what's your plan? Like, are you genuinely just trying to take pictures and recreate this life that you missed out on? What's going to happen when all of this is said and done? And it's difficult because you're supposed to suspend your disbelief and not really think about what comes next, I guess. But in the end, if Ma had even succeeded with what she wanted to do, which seemed like she was just going to torture these kids for a while and then let them go after she got her pictures, I don't know. What's your plan next? Not to mention, Ma has a full-blown daughter upstairs, which was the one she was yelling at, who she's been drugging to make her think she's disabled. She's got her in some kind of a hover-around chair. The girl can walk, and she told her don't walk. She tells her she's got spine issues that the doctors just haven't figured out yet. Just a lot of stuff that it seems like there was going to be some kind of a payoff from it. And my understanding is you don't put anything in your script that doesn't pay off later. If you have a loaded gun in a scene, then it has to fire off at some point. So she's got what I would consider a loaded gun in her daughter, who's only there to play Captain Savo. I mean, there's a line at the beginning where the main female character meets Ma's daughter and doesn't know it. And Ma's daughter's like, oh, you're a lifesaver. And then she says it back, so are you. But they don't even know each other, and this line carries no weight until the payoff at the end, which is empty at that point to me because this chick was not involved in the movie. She's just Ma's daughter who was kind of there. But the whole reason Ma did all of this is because the cool kids back when she was in high school had tricked her and convinced her to be cool with them and be at a party, and then they convinced her to give this guy head in a janitor's closet. The guy spit some game. Apparently it was fire game, gang. I don't know. He spit whatever game he needed to get her to come into a pitch black janitor's closet and then give him head. That being said, when she comes out of the closet, the guy she thought she was giving head to is already standing outside. And then she turns around and it's just some dork, basically, is what they want you to believe. Some uncool kid she's giving head to. And it's totally destroys everything about your reputation at that point. You can tell the teachers, but you did do it. Obviously, you wanted to do it to the other guy, and now this is how your high school reputation and high school career is going to look. But it affected Ma in ways that the other students wouldn't have ever guessed. I mean, students do stupid stuff. Kids do stupid stuff all the time. So it was just real weird to see this now, mid-40s, possibly early 50s woman, still dwelling on that while living in the same town. Something like that happens, you become an adult, you move the hell away. You don't stay around and try to live through it and be strong. You be strong by going out and becoming something awesome that you want to be, and then you don't even acknowledge those people who are ever in your life. So that's just some of the stuff I had issues with in the movie. All in all, I thought the movie was great. Octavia Spencer did an excellent job making you feel like she was a creepy old lady who would get you to be cool and then all of a sudden snitch on you out of nowhere just to get cool with your parents so that she can go on field trips or whatever with them. Oddly enough, I think her and Dennis Quaid's character from The Intruder that had Megan Good in it came out about, I guess, a month ago. But those two would make a really weird couple, possibly go on a major killing spree and get away with a lot of it because they seem to be able to live a regular life without a lot of people knowing that they're doing some crazy stuff behind the scenes. But if you get a chance and you have the extra dough to spend, I would recommend giving it a quick viewing if you can. There's obviously a lot of other movies out right now. Summer blockbuster season's about to crank up really good. So if you don't get to see it, wait till it comes out on Redbox or Amazon or Hulu or Netflix or your cable. So many different ways to watch movies at this point. So it's not something I would recommend you go rushing out to see. Good movie, not great. Falls for some of the same typical stuff you see in a lot of these suspense thrillers, but I did enjoy it. Was something that I personally had a good time watching. Um, so other than that, guys, would love it if you left a comment. Let me know what you would like for me to review next, what movies you've seen, what's your favorite movie so far this year. I know, obviously, if you don't know me, mine's is Endgame. Got to get some of these posters swapped out for some Avengers posters when I get a chance. But I do appreciate you guys watching, and until next time, peace.